Number 2. At number 2, we have what may be quite a shocker to many, being Osamu Tezuka. Yes, I put the god of manga on the top 10 list of most influential and iconic mangaka at number 2. Deal with it. But really, I'll explain my reasons a bit later. For now, let's focus on Tezuka, or at least try, because really, where do I begin with this guy? This guy pretty much made manga what it is today. I mean, everything from his art style to format of stories and panels pretty much inspired manga to come for many generations. Hell, practically everyone, including number 1 on this list, is in some shape or form influenced by Tezuka. Tezuka himself is a man of many series and perhaps the only mangaka on this list that has made series for practically every genre and demographic out there. Of course, Tezuka is best known for series such as Astro Boy, which in some aspects may have been the first ever shonen, that would also receive the first ever proper anime series. Then there is also the iconic medical drama Blackjack, which also oddly had a mini crossover with Dr. House. Then there's Kimba the White Lion that, well, shares some similarities with Lion King, as well as Princess Knight, which was one of the earliest series to feature a capable female lead. And that is just barely scraping the surface of the many works of Tezuka, as well as not even mentioning his accomplishments in anime. And let's not forget, in 2001 Space Odyssey, Stanley Kubrick wanted Tezuka to be the art director for the film, however Tezuka had to step down as he was very busy with his own projects at the time. But for a mangaka to be asked by a Hollywood director to work on their film is certainly not something you see or hear every day. But then again, Tezuka is truly a mangaka among mangaka. I mean, the guy has manga awards named after him. That pretty much speaks for itself. But with all that being said, how did he not make it to number 1? Well, we'll find out after some quick honorable mentions. First off, we have Takao Saito, the creator of the iconic assassin Golgo 13, which may have been the earliest manly series to come out in manga and is truly something special. The series has been going on for 47 years and is just now reaching its conclusion. Then we have the big 3 mangaka being Ichiro Oda, Musashi Kishimoto, and Tite Kubo. Sure, these 3 were all heavily inspired by many of the mangaka featured on this list, however their own accomplishments like their predecessors have helped inspire many new series. Finally, we have Ken Ishikawa, the creator of the iconic Getter Robo series, which was the first series to feature combining robots, something series such as Gurren Lagann and Transformers would take great amounts of inspiration from. However, while Ishikawa is responsible for Getter Robo, the concept of combining robots comes from our number 1. Yes, finally on this list, our number 1 for most iconic and most influential mangaka is none other than the devil and uncle of manga, Go Nagai. Sure, Nagai didn't define manga as Tezuka and Yokoyama, but he did redefine it, as through his various works Nagai had changed many genres forever, as well as create a few of his own. Similar to how I was with Tezuka, it really is hard to find a good point to start to express Nagai's spot at number 1. But I might as well start off with 3 of his most popular series being Mazinger Z, Devilman, and Cutie Honey. All of which may have not been the first series of their type, but each in their own way redefined them, in ways that the genres they change today just wouldn't be the same without. Mazinger Z certainly wasn't the first mecha series, but it was the first to make one of the most key features of modern mecha series, which many mecha fans of today may have taken for granted, being pilots of the mechas controlling the mechs from the inside, as before Nagai, mechas were controlled from the outside with some remote or some other type of device. And really, can you imagine most mecha series today having the pilots controlling them from the outside? Mazinger Z also created a subgenre to mecha being the super robot genre, which Nagai is pretty much the king of. I mean, just look at all these different super robots he has under his belt. Oh, and Mazinger Z started the whole Rocket Punch thing, so there's also that. Moving on, we have Devilman, which wasn't the first manga to feature an anti-hero, but it truly pushed what could be shown in manga, which, as we will get into a bit later, is something Nagai is known for. However, this powerful story definitely had an impact on the world of anime and manga, influencing a great amount of series such as Berserk, Parasite, Hell Teacher Nube, surprisingly Neon Genesis Evangelion, and that's just to name a few. I mean, this series even got an album, and more specifically a song dedicated to it from Rob Zombie's alter ego White Zombie, being Supercharger Heaven. I mean, just look at this concert. Then there's also Cutie Honey, which again may have not been the first Magical Girl series, But like Mazinger Z, introduced a key feature which many magical girl series to this day still use, being stylish transformations, and by stylish I mean naked. Of course, the series was a massive influence on the previously mentioned Sailor Moon and Hirohiko Ariaki's Gorgeous Irene, and even Studio Trigger's smash hit Kill la Kill. Oh, and it even got its own brand of whiskey. Now that is some sexy whiskey. Beginning off his 3 major series, he also pretty much created the ecchi comedy genre, with one of his earliest works being Shameless School, which despite the massive amount of controversy for its extreme amount of violence and nudity it caused back in the day, it did put the early shonen jump on the map and once again pushed what manga could feature, as well as pretty much establish almost every ecchi trope imaginable, as this series popularized the classic skirt flip and many other things we've seen done to death in ecchi series over the years. So not only is Nagai a master of violence and super robots, but he's also a master of all perverts. Nagai doesn't even need to try to be inspirational, as Kekko Kamen, which originally was just something he made to mess around with his editor, became a 5-volume long series, aided with an OVA series, and a dozen movies that all wound up inspiring another pretty bad series, being the infamous Butt Attack Punisher Girl Goda Man. And you all know how that went down for me. And in some ways can be looked on as a bit of an inspiration for Kill la Kill as well. But in all seriousness, Go Nagai, despite having a lot of stinkers in his large list of series, he is still a very amazing mangaka and truly deserves to be praised. The real reason as to why he topped this list is that Nagai has a major role in the way manga is today. He added various key features to many already established genres, as well as love it or hate it, pretty much kickstarted one of the most popular genres in manga, and truly pushed the boundaries of what manga can show. Without Nagai, it would be really hard to imagine just what modern animated manga would be like without him, and it is for that exact reason as to why he is number 1.